here's a counterexample. Let's say you're trying to smoke, trying to quit smoking. You're trying to quit smoking, okay, and your friends smoke, okay, so what are they doing? Like, do they offer you a cigarette at every possible opportunity? Because that's very common. People do that very commonly. Why? Well, maybe they're mad that they can't quit smoking, or maybe if you quit and they didn't, that would cast them in a bad shadow, or maybe they're just being malevolent, or maybe it's a game, or whatever. But one of the things it isn't is in the best interest of the person who's trying to quit smoking, or drinking, or eating, or, you know, or behaving in any sort of dismal manner that's self-defeating across time. And so one of the things that, you know, I had a client just a while back, and he was talking about an older sibling, and he used to make these models, very complicated models. He was quite young at this time. His sibling was like a decade and a half older, so he was like 10 or something like that. He'd make these really complex models. He'd spend a couple of weeks building them, and then when the older sibling came in, he'd just smash them up. It's like, well, let's see what kind of stress this thing can take. It's like, okay, what's going on there? Well, I wouldn't say it's unconditional positive regard with the aim of encouraging the person and bringing them to fruition. It's quite the opposite. And it's an instrumental use of action. And the point is not to elevate me or you or both of us. The point is, I'm going to be the monster at the top of the hierarchy, and if you're all crunched up and lying at the bottom, that's just fine. And that's a very common set of motivations. And you might ask, well, why isn't that okay? Well, that's a good question. I think the right answer to that is, as a long-run game, it's counterproductive. No one benefits. So there's local benefits to you in the short term. So